Right guys, Dan Hendriksen here. I'm at Torquay Golf Club, another series of the Tune Up Tuesday. We've got Dean with us. Dean has been on my journey now for 6 months. We're coming to the end of that journey, but when Dean first came to me, his driving was not so good. Lots of heel strikes, lots of hitting it out to the right hand side, really struggling to hit fairways with that driver. So we worked on a few things. Before Christmas we did actually improve, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And what kind of shot were you seeing before you got to Christmas?
I was seeing a straighter to even a draw sometimes.
Okay, so you were a big slicer of the golf ball, weren't you?
Previous to that, yeah.
Previous to that, okay, and then we moved you and then Christmas got in the way.
It did.
Turkey.
Too much turkey, too much stuffing, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk you through what we worked on before Christmas. We're going to talk you through where we kind of are now, and then where we've got to kind of try and move Dean back towards. His driving went from something really poor to something really good, and then it's just fallen away a bit, and he's come back and he's a little bit confused as to what he's trying to do. Let's get Dean to hit some balls and show you some numbers. So your swing path before Christmas was quite extreme, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was around, I want to say, between 10 and 13 degrees out to in.
Easily.
With the driver. Number of things going slightly wrong, but the key factor there, you were getting quite ahead of the golf ball from the body position, but it was more the handle, wasn't it? So can you put that handle where you used to kind of get it at impact? So yeah, you can see there that he had the handle pushed way forward into the shot, which in turn was getting that club face way open. And it was interesting that when we started to move your face position at the time, we started to see a shift in your swing path, didn't we?
Yes.
Which was a natural progression with regards to the actual club face being slightly more neutral, and therefore your swing path started to neutralise itself a little bit. Now this is quite a common theme that I see with lots of golfers that are struggling with the driving of the golf ball. They tend to get the handle pressed forward with the driver, and therefore that leaves the club face open. For Dean, he was hitting it massively in the heel, which he was seeing then a huge curvature of gear effect, path and face all being like pushing it out to the right hand side as he was hitting his shots. Now we made a change with Dean and we got him to get the position of getting that club head to just feel like it was taking over the ball. So just show us, Dean, what that club kind of was or felt like to you, just in slow motion as it came down. You were just trying to feel like, yes, that you were getting the club head to catch up with your hands and not have your hands pushed too far forward.
That's right, yeah.
And you were using your right hand. What was the action of the right hand? What was that feeling like it was doing through the ball?
It was almost like a flick through the ball.
Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily like rolling, was it?
No, it was more of a...
Yeah, it was more feeling like it was trying to release the club head underneath you.
Yes.
Okay, and we managed to move your path from around 10 to 13 degrees out to in to around 0. And that's where before Christmas you were starting to see that position of those ball flights being a lot straighter. The strike had improved, hadn't it?
Massively, yeah.
And we were almost getting a little bit of a draw out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we now?
I'm not going to say back at the start, but halfway between where I was at the beginning and where I was at Christmas.
Yeah, so we're seeing now from Dean a path of around 5 degrees out to in on an average, and his club face being that little bit open again, just that handle being pressed forward slightly. So we're going to see if we can try and neutralise this a little bit better for him, give him a little bit more confidence going back into the season. So one of the things that we talked about was more your back, wasn't it? Keeping your back pointing at the target for as long as you can, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, that was right.
And that allowed your hands to kind of feel like they were catching up a little bit more?
Yes.
Can you just get into your golf posture for me and let's just show what we're kind of talking about when we're doing this. So if you start to get the feeling of starting to come down now, Dean, and just that feeling now, that's it. So you're feeling like your back is staying towards the target. Whereas before, you were kind of leading with your shoulders, weren't you? You were kind of going at it from the top half, throwing your shoulders, and then almost the body and the shoulders were opening up a lot.
Yeah, I almost felt like my chest was pointing to the target.
Too much
yes.
at impact, and then obviously getting the handle pushed forward at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, you came today with a little bit of a different drill that made you kind of feel like you were getting your back into a better position, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And what is that drill? Because I actually really like this drill. This is from a friend of yours, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, just show us what he kind of got you to do.
He got me to set up in my posture, hold the driver out in front of me, and almost feel like I'm wanting to throw a ball underneath my arm.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. So that's you feeling like your left hand or left arm is out in front of you here, and that's just a stretch, isn't it? The arm is just stretched out there, and then it's the right hand that feels like it's throwing the ball underneath.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and what does that make it feel like to you with your back position?
Like it's much more towards the target for longer.
Okay, just show me again down the line so we can see what's happening there. That's really, yeah, I like that. And you can see that your shoulders are wanting to stay as neutral as they possibly can and not opening up too much. Now, I really like this drill. It's never a drill that I've ever heard of before, but I'm not afraid of now taking it and trying to work with it with Dean. It's something that he finds is actually something that can kind of give him that idea or that sensation of trying to keep his back to the target for a little bit longer. And at the end of the day, if the drill works and helps him sort of improve, then he's got to stick with it and give it a go. Okay, good. Now put two hands on the club, get a sensation of that drill. And then let that club really feel like you can release that club through now. So what I want Dean to start thinking about doing is that when he starts to bring that club down, he's pushing that handle forward here. Okay, so that's keeping the club face a little bit open. It's also pushing the heel towards the golf ball as he's coming in, which is why he's getting a lot of heel strikes. What I want him to feel is as he's coming through that he's getting the club head to feel like it catches up with the hands. So if you imagine yourself set up at address, this is where you want to try and return the golf club back to. So he's trying to get himself back into this position so he can get the club face to literally square itself up a little bit easier for him. 2, 6, 7 carry.
Not too bad.
More like the yardage we want, isn't it?
Yes.
We've got the shape back, but we still haven't got the path back. So we've got the face releasing better. So you're feeling like you're reacting with that club face a little bit more, but we've just got more time to spend on trying to get that path moving in the right direction.
Definitely.
This is the long game.
It is.
Get yourself back into that feeling before Christmas. Too much bloody stuffing. So even though we haven't quite cracked it with regards to the swing path and the face, we're certainly making headway here with Dean and his swing. Now, at the end of the day, this is something that is part of our journey. It's something that you have to take your time. Don't try and run before you can walk with this setup. At the end of the day, the main focus for me with Dean is to make sure that he keeps releasing that club head, and that is making sure that that handle stays back. He doesn't squeeze it forward, and then over time he can then start to feel like once he gets that right, he can then start to shift his path. It's such an important part of driving a golf ball to get that club head to catch up. Let me know, put your comments down below. Is it something you've worked on yourself? I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Is it something you've worked on with a coach? And any other tips that you've got that you've had from other coaches, put them down there as well. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I love the drill though, that what Dean brought to the table with that feeling of that club out in front of him, feeling like he can turn his right hand underneath that club. That's a drill that I definitely think some of you could have a little play with as well. Put your comments down below, let me hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.